Well, it's time for an update on my green-headed ants, the Rhytidoponera metallica. So this is Queen Night Dust and the green berets. So it's been a little while since I've done an update on these ones and a lot is happening. Let's get into this video. Well, like I said, a lot has been happening with this colony. And it's one of the favourites out there. A lot of you guys do love my colony of green-headed ants. As I mentioned before, the Rhytidoponera metallica. So I want to show you what's been happening in the video since last time. So yeah, quite a while back when I actually looked at these guys. Now these are beautiful ants. If you don't know too much about these beautiful ants, they're amazing. So the queens are semi-claustral, which means they need to leave the founding chamber to get food while they're producing those first workers, the nanitics. Now, one of the bonuses of this species is they cannot climb slippery surfaces. So effectively I could leave the lid off their container and these guys can't get out. There's no chance at all, they just slide straight down it. So that's really cool. Now you'll notice in the outworld here they've been working quite hard. Now I've made a few videos on this before where they just love digging in the substrate. Made a little bit of a mistake myself when I added a little bit of water to that originally and they just went digging straight away. So it's pretty cool outworld. What do you guys think? Should I give them a new outworld or at least add something on, a little bit more room to grow? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate some feedback there as well. So I've got a few things in this outworld that make it a little bit easier for these guys. So because they like to dig so much, I put rocks near the entrances into the nest. Now this makes it easy for them to get in and out. They do have a tendency to undermine it all the time, so I'm continually having to adjust it and put it in there. Now if you're looking at keeping this particular species, again guys, what you'll need to do is provide some food for them. So I've got these Biformica liquid feeders constantly in their outworld. The one there you see is full of water. They just love the water, constantly drinking it, so I keep that supply up to them. And I also have some sugar water supplied for them, and they love that as well. But one thing they really will need is protein, a source of protein. So I use crickets and mealworms. They do like other things. I have used a protein powder before, which they're quite keen on, and so that's worked really well. So you can see the beautiful colours. Here they are working around in the outworld there, digging their own little tunnels, and look at that beautiful colour. That metallic green colour which they're famous for. And they're very, very busy in this outworld. Now these ants, if you don't know, they sting and it can be quite painful. Nothing like a bull ant from what I believe. Never been stung by a bull ant yet though, but been stung by plenty of these guys. My finger's gone numb several times from them. So yeah, just be aware of that. Maybe not the species for beginners, but they are fascinating and there's a lot of interesting things to watch with this particular species. A couple of things that I want to mention. Currently it is September here in Australia, which is springtime. So these particular species of ants, they actually fly this time of year, beginning in September, sometimes a little bit earlier, but generally in September they're nuptial flights, so you can catch a queen. Now this particular species also produce gamergates as well, which mean workers can lay eggs. So sometimes it can be hard to get queens, but if you look hard enough you'll be able to find some queens out there as well. Okay, so this is the time of year where they fly, so that's really cool. Now you probably all want to have a little look inside the nest and check out what's been going on there. So I have them here in a custom made Waitong nest which was donated to me. Thanks Coltrane again. Let's go and have a look and see what's been happening. Now through the winter months not a lot happened here. There were a lot of brood. It's quite a pile of brood, but not much was going on with them. They weren't really progressing. I don't keep my colony with a heat cable or anything this winter that's just gone. I've got a new heat cable there, so I might use it next winter, but we'll just see how we go. Sometimes a little bit of downtime for your ants can actually be good for them. But as you'll notice here, and this has only happened probably in the last week or so, all these new cocoons are just popping out of nowhere. Now, substrate's been brought into the nest here by the workers, and just so the cocoons can enclose properly, not enclose, they can spin their cocoons well. Enclosing is when they open and come out of the cocoons. But you can see there's a nice pile of brood which is ready to go. So we are going to have an explosion in this colony. Now there's already a lot of workers in this colony. I find it very hard to actually find the queen, but we're probably heading up to 400-500 workers, I would say, in this colony, which is fantastic. Started from a single queen, and I got that single queen probably, it'll be about 2 years ago now, in fact, when I caught her and started her. So you can look through the history of my videos on the Rhytidoponera metallica, and it's all based around this particular colony, so you can see the growth right from the beginning. And I think my videos are a little bit better now. What do you reckon, guys? Do you like my videos? Are they okay? The content? I hope you guys do. Now, is there anything in particular you want to know about this species of ants? Any questions on them? Let me know. That'd be fantastic, just down in the comments. And if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd love you to do that as well. That'd be fantastic. I really appreciate your support. Now, before we get into discussing the close-up here on the ants, one thing I just wanted to let you know, I do actually have a Patreon. I've set it up. It is there. Don't feel any pressure though. You don't have to. I mean, I just love the support of you guys watching the channel. But if you do feel like dropping a couple of dollars there a month to me, it just helps me get better equipment for filming, for making the videos better as well, and for expanding the species that I do have. But no pressure at all, guys. I just love the fact that you subscribe to the channel, you watch my videos, and you give me a thumbs up. Now, enough about that. Let's get back to the ants. So here's some nice close-up footage of the cocoons here. So you can see that substrate they've brought inside, which is amazing. And you can see the ants are actually collecting together the brood here, the larvae, and they're all going to be spinning their cocoons very soon. You also notice in here the male drones. Now they've been in here for quite some time, and there's probably a good half dozen to maybe 10 of them there, which is really interesting. But we don't have any virgin queens or queenolates at all. So we'll see what happens this year. But I just love this. I love looking in close and looking at the ants here. Fascinating, aren't they? Look at those beautiful colours. Now there is a little bit of colour variation between the workers. Some have that very greeny metallic-y colour, and others, like this particular one here, are sort of that rusty brown on their head and thorax. Look at these colours. How beautiful. Some amazing detail here, which is fantastic. I was able to catch with my macro lens here. So I'm really happy with this. I want to get some better photos of my ants though, and better footage as well. So I'm working on that one slowly. It does take a bit of practice and a bit of time. So you've got a little cluster of eggs there in the middle, which is fantastic. I don't know if I've seen night dust. I haven't seen her for a little while, so she could be in here somewhere. I just could not locate her. So if you do see her, let me know. Drop me a line. Now, while we are watching this footage, I just wanted to thank everyone for their support in the last competition. It was really good. I've sent out all those nests now to the 3 winners. So that was good, open worldwide. So 2 of those nests went overseas, which is fantastic. So thanks for the support. It doesn't matter where you are. I like to give back to the community. And what an awesome hobby that we do have. Now, is there any particular videos that you'd like to see? Let me know as well. I do have another live stream coming up as well for those ones who missed my first one, where you can just ask me any questions and I'll do my best to answer them for you. So stay tuned for that one. And I've got quite a few videos coming up shortly as well. I've been extremely busy, as you know, but I've got some good videos coming up. I've got a few little days off work, so I'll try and pump out some videos for you guys as well. So I hope you're enjoying this close-up look as we travel around this colony. Now this year I'm hoping that some queen elates will come out of these cocoons, which would be really good to get the colony to that size. A couple of things I want to do with this colony though. I would like to give them a new outworld, and I'd like to make it a fairly interesting outworld. Something with a little bit of variety, a bit more naturalistic for them as well. A few things to climb on and to explore. I hate the thought of the ants being quite bored as they walk around their outworld. So what do you think about that? Would you like to see a bit more work on my outworlds as well to make it pretty cool? So let me know if you want that sort of stuff as well, guys. Now, a couple of things I'd like to just mention about keeping these Rhytidoponera metallica. Now, at the top I'll put the card there. You can click on that video and that'll take you off to my, basically the care guide for keeping this particular species. But a few things I'll mention to you just now as well. So, like I mentioned earlier in the video, this species, they're queens, they are semi-claustral. So they need to leave the founding chamber, founding nest. Now that can just be a basic test tube to begin with. I found that the best to start them off in. Now they will need to leave that though to get food sources. So food sources, protein and carbohydrates. Carbohydrates in the form of honey or sugar water, something like that, some sort of glucose that they need, and then they'll need some protein. So that can be something very basic. It can be something like a protein jelly. It could be a cricket leg or half a mealworm, maybe a part of a roach, anything like that, just a little bit of protein. The queen will need that to produce the eggs. Now once you've got your brood going, they will need a little bit of substrate as well, just to spin those cocoons. They don't need as much as perhaps some species, perhaps like your bull ants need, but a little bit there just to help them along is good. The brood will also need that protein to feast on as well, so you'll notice these guys will actually drag it back in for them into the nest as well, so to have that provision there for them, which would be really good. So there you go, there's a few tips, but as I said, click on that card and that'll give you a few more benefits of keeping them if you so desire. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of an update on the green-headed ants. That's Queen Night Dust and the green berets. So thanks for the name for the queen and the colony, guys. Appreciate it. So thanks very much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and stay tuned for some pretty cool videos that are coming and another live stream. And as always, happy ant keeping.